Hi. So we're not doing the other voices.
We're
No,
not doing the
we're
other
not doing
voices
those.
today.
Okay.
Not today.
They married.
So, where are we?
And why aren't we doing those
Uh,
voices today? Because we're somewhere so special.
Yep. We teleported into the most amazing
Oh my
place.
gosh. It's Disneyland.
It is.
It's Disneyland.
It is.
Where are we?
We're at Four Hands in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
And if you don't know about Four Hands, the brand, you are going to learn so much today. So fascinating.
Socks will be knocked off for sure. If you don't know Four Hands, you probably do know Four Hands. You just didn't know that you know them because you're going to see things that will make you go, oh my gosh, that's Four Hands. I love that chair. I love that table because they're in the best places and so many just nuggets everywhere.
And their brand is so recognizable. I mean, it just really is recognizable.
Probably more than other brands, I would have to say.
Totally agree with that.
It's very specific, but not boring. I mean, it's not just seeing that. It's just specific to them, and it's so on point every season. And
that's it.
It's in all of our projects, right?
So we're excited to be here. And we're going to have great guests that we're going to talk about in just a minute. But first, I'm wondering, what's your win today?
Well, besides being here, which is huge, but I got to drive here from Oklahoma, from a parents' weekend and at OU with the baby, and
your teeny tiny newborn baby that's 20,
my little 20-year-old.
Yep.
He's just a weekend with the kids is always something. We talk about this all the time, whether it's work or family. It's always our win. But this one was extra special. We had some nugget time, and
is he a junior now?
He is a junior.
That just is mind blowing.
It's crazy.
I remember when you drove him up there and cried.
Didn't come home for 2 weeks. I mean, I couldn't see myself go walking back into the house without him. So, it was really neat, and it was funny because his roommates, they are. Everybody had to bring furniture and their stuff. And so pieces from Four Hands, which is great that it's here, but they are in his room. And so there's talk about furniture now that maybe wouldn't have been in a typical boys' dorm room. But because of what we get to do, they're all more aware. So
I love that.
I know.
I love that. And I heard you played bags and all kinds of things.
Oh, yes. I suck at bags. I need to learn, but
doesn't matter.
Fun as heck. Okay, so tell me yours.
So I think for me, when I was thinking about my win for today, we are coming up on a year of doing our podcast together. And there has been this major shift where we all of a sudden have people reaching out to ask us if they can be on our podcasts. And when we did sort of our dream board about what this would turn into, I don't think we ever imagined that being a thing, especially at this stage. And so we just had somebody really kind of famous reach out to us, and we're trying to make a way to make that work with travel and all the things. And so made me really proud of us.
That is a huge win, and it is to celebrate and within that year. And I do think we're going to be able to change how we do the podcast to be able to do these things, which we hadn't even anticipated needing to do. But now we've got these people who aren't maybe drivable to get to or aren't in Houston. And so now we might be switching it up a little bit too on how we reframe how we do our podcast so we can accommodate that.
Exactly.
It's so exciting.
And then behind us, we have this stunning piece of art. We've learned a lot about this artist recently. His name is Reese Truesdale. Thank you for that. Reese Truesdale. He shows at Round Top in Texas, which if you don't know about Round Top, you need to. He's from Kansas City and studied at OU, Boomer.
Sooner.
And so this piece is just awesome. As we were walking through the art
the art studio, which you guys are going to hear.
Mind-blowing. This piece of art stopped us in our tracks. So.
And if you go to YouTube so you can see it, but you can also see that it matches Rainey in a way that is undeniable.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how to steal this. I don't know.
Maybe in her purse later, but it's stunning.
Yep. I am obsessed.
So now we get to introduce you to 3 of the most fascinating, fun people and the reason that we're here. So
yep.
Thank you.
We're going to be bringing on Adam and Josh and Brooke. And so we're going to set up the studio and then be right back at you. Yeah, the energy today at Four Hands has been, and the culture and the vibe and everything has been so amazing. And so should we have you, I think we're going to have you guys each introduce yourselves, Brooke, Josh, and Adam, and tell us what you do.
I can start. So I am the director of curation and artist relations over at the art studio side of Forehand. So I get the opportunity to work with artists, help develop the art for the brand line and some of our customers, and yeah, just generally get to play with art.
I mean,
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that too.
what do you do? I play with art. That's not your husband's name, is it?
Right.
If only that would make this much better.
Pieces of art.
Yeah. Even that's worse. I think that's
Oh my gosh, what a great way to
So proud of us. We just didn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
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 Okay, professional. Let's see. I am Josh Jarbo. I am the Senior Vice President of Sales at Forehand. So I'm over all of the sales teams and managers and the revenue aspect of the company and dip my fingers into a little bit of everything.
Love it.
Awesome. I'm Adam Gunn. I'm the Senior Vice President of Design. So I set all creative direction and look for the brand. And then my team does all of the product development design that we bring to market.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I want all of your,
Like, all
yeah,
of you
that's
just-
it. We're just going to let
Right
you
there
go.
is just-
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you even? So, well, do you want to share a win? Can
Yes.
we have a win from you guys? Because I mean, it's hard sometimes when
Sure.
when you're doing what you're doing
Yeah.
to go to market. So, is there anything?
Yeah, I have a personal win actually. So
Let's
Better.
my
Yeah.
oldest son, Benny, his soccer team just like smoked the competition this weekend, which was amazing. So it's like the first time their little team has actually kind of clicked and it was awesome. They were undefeated last year and they were just losing everything this year and they just killed it.
Has he gotten a goal this season?
Yeah. He's real good. He's an aggressive little dude.
Oh, does he have like a dance that he does after the goal?
Yeah, they all do that like Messi thing.
Yes,
Right.
where they run.
Yeah, they all
Yeah.
do. Messi's a soccer player.
Yeah.
They all...
This just in.
I'm like, "Ew, what does this mean?"
Yeah. Yeah. I have twin
Got
grandsons
it.
that are 8 and they play soccer.
son
And
can-
so
yeah.
it's the whole thing. Yeah. Love
It's
it.
a great age. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
Josh, what's a win?
Well, I think this is work related, but it's brand new too. So just this past Friday, we had the first round of training for the new product introductions that are landing in High Point. So we do it remotely because we have everybody interacting and typing in the chat. There's all kinds of clapping and hearts that go on. And it's the first time that a lot of the sales team and a lot of even some of the marketing teams are seeing some of the new introductions. And so we get so excited about that. And everybody just really gets, geared up for High Point and super pumped for market.
I
So
love it.
that still is with me.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a
It was
good
That was
one.
really good.
It was a really good one. And Brooke brought it home at the end with some new introductions no one was
Yeah, those murals are
expecting.
like killer.
Art's
Yeah.
always best for last at the
Yeah.
end of a presentation. But yeah, we had some great mural introductions and some new artists. So we're excited for everybody to see that.
It was
But
a good time.
also just general great product that's coming out for launch.
Oh, exciting. What's your win?
My win. This weekend was the first weekend, and I'm not breaking or anything, but I haven't been home much. I've been traveling a lot. We just got to go on a great PD trip to Paris and London, and then I had some family time in Montana. So honestly, it was just nice to be home and got some friends time in, and went out in Lockhart on Friday night. So they've got like a great first Friday, and so that was just nice to be.
You got to have
home.
some time with your two puppies.
Yeah, and a
Puppies.
little time with my doggos for
Yes.
sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
love it.
Incredible.
So I'm interested in really understanding, and I think, Adam, this question would be for you. What is the origin story of Forehands? Like, how did it start?
Yeah, Forehands is actually a lot older than I think people realize. Like next year, we're hitting 30 years, which is like super cool.
That's
Right?
how old we are.
A fun celebration.
Just think. You were all born at the same time.
Yeah.
It
was good.
Right.
6 years after high school
I
graduation.
know. I was like, that's when I graduated. No, but we're hitting like our 30-year anniversary, which is great. And the company started really, really small. So Forehands originated as like an antiques dealer. They're bringing in one of a kinds from all over Mexico and Asia. And then they just continually evolve, which is really great. And actually the story, it started by two people. Their four hands were the ones that started a company.
There it is.
And
There
so,
it is.
yeah, and so it's actually a really cool story. So we started off as this really small boutique-y curator of like cool things. And then over time, we've just grown. We've grown our product development team, our design chops, and we've just kind of evolved over the years.
Was that started here in Austin? Is this
It was in like a tiny, honestly, like when you walk around this building, like you don't really get the feel for how small it was. Cause like it's pretty big now, right? But like it was started in this tiny little trailer. And there's maybe like 2 people in the company who are still there, who are here with us now.
I was going to ask that question. And
2
who
folks.
are they?
One is Lakshman, who is in our India office. He's like our country manager and he's amazing. He just hit 25 years or something like that. And Renee.
And Renee, oh yeah, Renee is one of our key accounts managers and also a dear friend. And she's at 23 years at the company.
That is amazing.
There's a lot of tenure at the company. And particularly when we're talking to and attracting new talent, that's one big feather in our cap.
Yeah.
And that kind of was going to be, so the culture you guys do have here, it's very intentional. More, I feel like, than most companies that I've heard about, even just the process of how to get a job here, because I was trying to get one and I wasn't accepted. I'm just saying, I was putting that out there. But can you speak to that and what you guys do for your teams? Because it's you feel it walking through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have a kitchen that's got stocked for
the
days.
kitchen. I can't even. Yeah. No, it's pervasive. It's like comes out of the walls. It comes out of the people. It comes.
Yeah. You feel like you're in a very small company and it's massive.
And I think we can all add to that because it is so layered and it is so many things, but it definitely starts at the top. You know, we do have what we believe in. We do have a vision. We do have core values. You know, we really believe that people are in conversation with their environments, that it is positively impacting your emotional state when your surroundings are beautiful. And so that it's really purposeful that the furniture that we make is serving that for our end consumers, for the customer ultimately. You know, there's a vision that we really want to be at the leading edge of design and of quality and of customer experience, you know, and to really come through with that. And then we have core values too, you know, which of the core values, my favorites are probably value the whole person. You know, it's really important to us that when people come to work, they're bringing their entire selves to work, you know, and they're collaborating with everything that they've got, which is one of the reasons, as you've walked around and have seen, the environment is so beautiful and inviting. It's a place where you want to come and you want to spend time here, and we will feed you well enough.
And I think everything is on brand. I mean, the cubicles, it just, everywhere you look, it's like, oh, that's Four Hands.
And it's really from this onset of, we got to go to the art studio, which I cannot wait to, but there's nothing here that you guys have not made or created. And I think that says a lot, because I don't know about too many other manufacturing places that are furniture based that wouldn't maybe bring in something that wasn't maybe theirs, or even your cubicles, like you said, designed and built the desks. Like everything is you. And so it really, you use it.
It's super custom. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we were that was the coolest part when we were transitioning and like rebuilding this whole space, that we really have the opportunity to make it reflect our culture and like who we are as a brand. And you're right, most companies don't get to do that, right? You walk in here and you're like, oh, I'm at Four Hands. You know what I mean? You can really tell. And I think a lot of that too, just adding on to Josh, it's like ownership's really big here, right? That's like kind of my favorite thing. We're still real startup-y. Do you know what I mean? Even though we're big, there is this like big startup mentality still, where it's like you're allowed to take ownership of your area and drive through ideas and create positive change. And they really want you to do that at Four Hands. It's a lot of like self-starting and responsibility. Like I know my team's like, they travel a lot. So I'm just like, if y'all want to like hang out in Bali or whatever for a weekend because you're in Indonesia, that's totally cool. I know you're going to get back to me on email. Right. So it's like you can.
And the inspiration that comes from that, right? Like that is priceless.
It's totally great. So I feel like so much of it is like knowing that it's not just allowed, it's expected for you to take ownership and really drive results yourself.
And even to the point that they're using the software that they're comfortable with. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That did something.
That was mind blowing when we learned that today. Yes.
Wait, she can work on this, but he likes this and vice versa. That is gracious as all get out, right? That you're not forcing this other thing, because it is creative and we do do it so differently.
It's true.
It's threaded through everything.
Totally. The results can be the same, but how you get there can change based off of like your skill set, right? And that's not a big deal. As long as you're bringing cool results, you're good to go.
I love that. And so, Brooke, we got to go to the art studio. That was the first place we toured this morning. And to say mind-blowing seems like those words aren't enough to conceptualize how we felt when we walked through there. Can you speak a little bit about, I think you were here and sort of started that whole branch or really took it and grew it. You've been here for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
Will you talk about that and what you do and then sort of where you see yourselves going next?
Yeah. Well, I was there when the art studio became part of the Greater Four Hands Company, and that was about 8.5 years ago. But the reason being was because Matt Briggs and the president of the art studio had been working together for many, many years, and it just was like this perfect point in time where the marriage and like the growing opportunity for art in the home space, and especially with Four Hands, just was really like the right time, right place. And it's really skyrocketed everything that we've been able to do with the art program. Everything from the technology, which you guys got to see, so the amazing suites of printers and scanners, all of the craftsmen that we have on in-house to really be bringing that to life. But we're, doing it all on demand and producing it as the customer orders it, but it still feels like it's on brand and something that we're trying to push, working directly with artists. We're trying to work with independent and emerging artists, but also content providers so that we really have a wide variety of options and offerings for people.
And with your artists, from what I understand, you have some artists who, most artists, early on or even midway through their careers, still have to supplement with other jobs and careers because art doesn't always. But you guys have resident artists that are able to not have those other jobs.
One of my favorite stories is an artist, Eileen Fitzgerald, that we work with. She's here locally, and she's one of the first artists that, as when we merged with Four Hands or became part of Four Hands, was one that I reached out to. And she was working as a full-time nurse, but she was doing art on the side and really wanted to, be able to be a full-time artist. And it was the mailbox money. So all of our artists get paid a royalty. So we're, that's part of just working with us is the exposure, but also just you get paid. They're doing all the work. They're putting in the effort up front, and then we're just get to be the vehicle to take it out to the world and support these people. But Eileen's work started picking up and getting traction, and it was just that gap, that bridge that she was able to then become working a full-time artist so that she can focus on her original artwork. And then she gets that mailbox money from us to help supplement her family. So it's for me, that's the exciting stuff is really helping support these artists and get their names out there. And just the support from our sales team, our marketing team, everybody gets so behind it. And they're part of the Four Hands family, the ecosystem.
We get to know the artists. They come to market, they come to trainings with the sales team. We get to know them and we get to watch their art transform over time too. Like Eileen specifically, you can see a difference in her art from when she went from full-time. I mean, from my perspective, art is so subjective, of course, but her new introductions that we're bringing to market are just so lush and vibrant and full of so much vitality and life. You can tell that she's pouring so much passion into it. And part of that I have to believe is because she's a full-time artist now.
I love that. So how do you find the artists? I mean, you, I'm sure, are exposed to so many artists and so many different types of art. How do you go, that's for me? Is it the person? Is it the art? Is it both?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things. There's so many great resources for finding art and artists. I mean, Adam and I are constantly scouring Instagram and things like that. And that algorithm will definitely help you out if you want it to.
Send me cool art.
But it's even just going out to shows Reese. We found Reese at Round Top. Just inspiration's really everywhere. But now, especially, I'm getting referrals from pretty much everyone. It comes out of the woodwork. But other artists will refer other artists, which I also love because then they're supporting each other. It's not meant to be a competitive space. But
love.
Yeah.
And so speaking to that, so what we got to see, which, you say 3D printer, you say these things and you're like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sure.
That's cool.
I have one of those in my house.
Sounds good.
And then you see it. And like the one that just is the shocking is the it's on wood, and what is it, 7 layers of different, the texture and just everything that is done in there. We were like, we didn't want to keep following because we were just so stuck on each, like, and it was, we lost our tribe because they keep going.
We knew y'all were going to put leashes on us or shock collars because it was a Where Are Casey and Rainy day.
Yeah. There's a lot of shiny objects.
Shiny objects. And so for murals even, and which you have here in your showroom.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And I think the other interesting thing for me was that you guys get 400 finished pieces out of the door a day. That is from custom framing. It gets sanded and painted, and the artwork is printed, and it is matted, and it is put in the frame with glass, and it is intentionally wrapped with cardboard that is wrapped to that exact specification of that piece, and it's labeled, and it goes out to a client.
Attention.
So I would have been impressed if you had said 5, and when you said 400, I still have not been able to wrap my mind.
I was waiting for the clown car to open,
like for you to go. Just kidding,
because it was so clean and tidy, and there was just no frenzy.
No, it was the intention.
Nice, like everybody's just genuinely like. Anyway,
this is what I'm doing.
Well, and I think that ties back to like the culture thing is like it carries over from building to building. And we have like super smart people who run our production operations over there, and like they're just constantly working on more efficiencies. When do we invest in more technology so that printer suite that you guys saw? I mean, those are smart people figuring out like what's the right time to make those investments. When are we leveling up our technology? Because the intention is for the artwork, these fine art reproductions, to look as close to an original as possible.
Well, they do. They're sick.
Thank you. Yeah. And so that's, part of that is us continuing to know what we're doing and getting better at it and learning from our mistakes, or learning from just like there's new technology coming out every day, and we just want to be right there ready to use it. Because like that Swiss Q technology, we're probably one of the only art manufacturers in the US that now have 5. So that's like, like just it. But it's, that's also, I think, part of Four Hands is just constantly being like, leading that, trying to find that edge, and just making sure that we're using it appropriately.
Kind of that startup mentality. You're always just charging.
Constantly.
Instead of that comfort zone.
Well, and it's so cool at the art studio too, because the technology really drives our level of creativity over there, which is kind of backwards, kind of what you would think about it. But we're looking for techniques that we're not even sure if the printers can do. And so we have to go and ask, like, can we do this? Can we do this? And that widens the breadth of art that we're able to bring to market. And all of that is being leveraged by the tech that they bring in. It's really cool.
Love it.
It's a really fun part of the product development process, especially because it's like right down the road. And so we can test and play and try new things. But yeah, sometimes it's just like, oh, can we do that? And we're like, we're going to try.
When adding in too, we're never losing sight of the people and the crafts people that are involved in the production of it. So there's the science piece, but there's also the art piece. So everything is also hand touched. So there's always an element of the person and the craftsperson and the human that's involved in that. And, to that point with the culture, and this is part of your interview process right now, you're doing it, but it is a long process, to find the right people to find the right talent that share the same vision.
I think the craft part is so important too, because like we always talk about art as being 50% content, 50% presentation style. And I feel like the content can be really, really great, but if you're not presenting it the right way, it doesn't become a product. Do you know what I mean? It might
Beyond correct.
It might be like a cool piece of art, but it might not be a product that somebody wants to buy. And so much of that presentation technique comes in through like the handcrafted details that we do at our studio.
Yeah. And it's really like what drives it home. I think it's the finishing touch that finishes it. And sometimes we'll be styling things out and we'll just do a quick little frame change, and it totally changes the art piece.
It elevates it. So Josh, for you, as Senior Vice President of people.
Of stuff, yeah. Of many things, right?
I got senior vice president of, right?
Yeah, you did. Excellent.
And what is the last part?
Sales.
Sales.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so sales. But what I see of you, and it's very personal, I know to Casey and to myself, is the reps that we interact with on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, depending on your volume and needs. And our rep is Tristan, and I know he's been with the company for 12 years. But we, as a firm, literally buy from forehand sometimes when we could source elsewhere because we love Tristan. And I think that goes back to you and your talent of understanding and recognizing who's a good fit. So can you speak to sort of the origin of growing that sales team? Because I think it went from being Austin-centric
That's right,
to being all around the United States, if I understand correctly.
Yeah,
and so can you talk about that and that journey?
Sure. Well, thank you for calling out Tristan. He's fantastic, and he is a forehands person. He started off in our showroom, in our flagship showroom here that's open, and then grew into his account executive role, where you now get to enjoy him and everything that he brings to the table.
I feel like he's going to get a really big head. I don't know. I know.
For 12 years, he's just okay.
Oh, man. Balloonist. Yeah, he is. He is the cutest. Yeah.
He is. He's a fellow ginger.
Fellow ginger.
So
there you go.
Represent and protect each other. But it was when I first joined Forehands about 7 years ago. There were people that were based in Austin that were traveling long distances to get to their territories, and I felt strongly that people should be dedicated completely to Forehands for one. So they are exclusive reps to our brand, so they're not carrying other brands, so they can be very, very focused and carry our brand message forward. Right? So you're not fighting with other lines that are in the bag or whatever. And also that people lived in the territory that they're representing, not only because they need to be just a quick car drive away to be able to come and do a lunch and learn with you or drop off a sample or whatever your needs may be, but so that they understand that part of the world and what is the design ethos, what is it like? Because what are show houses like in that part of the world? Because if you go to a show house in Atlanta, Georgia, it's going to be very different from one in New York. That's going to be very different from one in LA. And I always want the specialist. I want the person that's the expert for that territory and for that customer base and that look.
So how do you find those people?
It is not easy, to tell you the truth. I mean, we do have several people that have grown up through the ranks and have come from other departments and joined sales. So they were already well versed in who Forehands is. They were already part of the Forehands DNA and, already understood what it means to be an aspect of a high functioning team at the company. And so they could easily roll into sales. Otherwise, it's hard. I mean, it just is,
you have to hire somebody in Idaho. I mean, how do you do
that? For example, we recently hired somebody on the East Coast in a mid-Atlantic position who is fantastic. And it took us almost 2 years, to find this person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you know that was the one? Like, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Because there are a lot of salespeople that people cringe. They walk in the door and you're like, oh my God, don't tell them I'm here.
I've done that.
Here's that person. I'm going to hide behind this column. I want when a salesperson walks into the door, I want your eyes to light up. Mm-hmm. I want you to be excited to see that person because you know that they're going to be helpful, knowledgeable, trained, and have the answers for you.
And this team, like the sales team, cares. Like they care so deeply about each other, about the product. Like on the artist side, like they really want to hear the stories behind the pieces. They want to know that because they want to pass that on. And I'm just always so impressed, like how much they truly care.
They do. They value the whole person piece too. They're bringing their entire person to work, and that's also why it's specific to their region. When you walk into our showroom, you could almost line up the reps and say, "Well, you're clearly Pacific Northwest, and you're Florida, and you're New York," and
which is great for the designer or the client that they're bringing in, because somebody with purple hair going into Idaho might not You know, like
Right.
you don't know what the crossover, but LA is going to kill that, right? So it just helps. So for you guys working together then, and you guys are designing 18 months, 24 months ahead
Yeah,
of
like we're
time.
doing, creative direction comes out 2 years ahead and design happens like 12 months ahead. Yeah.
And so when you finally get to show them, and you guys have been looking at it for all these and sort of,
Yeah.
so then their fresh eyes get on, is that such a fun moment for everybody when
It
you guys
is.
can see their reaction that they
No, it's super
hadn't gone through
exciting.
that
And I feel like we
process?
have like a couple touch points because after we finalize the season, so anytime we go to market, we do not launch a product without stock. Right? Like
Say
is-
that louder for the people in the back.
Wait, honestly,
What?
It is.
really
It's a big
is.
deal.
Like, we
It's a
don't
very big deal.
launch items in a testy way. Like we believe in them. We've thinned out the herd. We know that they're the best of the best, and so we order and put inventory against every single item that we launch.
Wow.
Right, and so
Sit.
it's a real product.
And this is
It's
4
a
times a
thing.
year.
Yeah,
So
4
that's,
times a
I mean,
year.
that's,
Well, actually, we launch monthly. It's like 4 times a
okay.
year, but then we have
But
a
you're-
speed to market track and
Right.
have new colors all the time.
Yeah.
But we always get we get amazing feedback 2 ways from the sales team. One is after we do final investment for a season, we grab your sales leadership team and the merchants will walk through final investment quantities that we put on each item, engage sales leadership to understand if they're like, that one I think will do more. You might want to up that quantity. And so they partner together at that aspect. And then when we do training, which we were just speaking about,
Right.
it's like a 4-hour meeting, right? But we get all of this feedback from the sales team. I know it said startup, but we're
It's
getting
a celebration.
it is a celebration. We're like,
no, it's fun.
It is.
All we heard was 4 hours.
so we saw
I
all this,
believe
so
that is everybody's one of their favorite times of the year.
Yeah.
Is
Because
that
it's really
4-hour
fun.
meeting.
So
But we get
cool.
like hearts and stars or comments and people say, I know hearts and stars sounds like a cereal, but it's like, no, but we
Lucky
get all of
Charms.
these
Me Lucky
comments.
Charms.
We'll adjust our bike quantities based off of that meeting too. Because it's not
Yeah.
just the sales team that's in there, the planning team, the merchant team, the design team, the marketing team. And so when we get that in real time feedback, the product org is really good about taking action on it.
I love that
That must
so
be
much.
so fun for your team to to see the hearts and the stars and when it's coming through, because you really have been working on it for so long. And I know for our own projects, you sort of get a little bit like, yeah, well,
We
we
get
were
tired of
so,
stuff so
we
fast,
get so
right?
tired of
I
it.
know.
So tired.
But then you get reinvigorated when you install it. So you're like, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
right. This is beautiful, a year later. So that
Yeah.
must be fun.
Exactly. And I think as designers, we know that when we source something from Four Hands, it's going to come. And I think 99.9% of the time, it comes in perfect condition and it's high quality. And that makes installs less stressful. And
Right.
the clients love the product. So I'm wondering, Adam, if you have ever chosen something, taken it to market and said, this was a miss.
Yeah, totally. Do you know what I mean?
Do tell.
There's totally some things where you're just like, oh God, what a dog. Do you know what I mean? And like you just see it and you're kind of like, when the editors come in, you kind of like kick it toward the corner or you try and hide it because you do get embarrassed. And I think that there are just like trends that we've all like kind of bought into over the years. Do you know what I mean? That
No, I need you to tell me like one dirty dog that you're just like,
I actually have some good ones. Let me think about one. Well, one, I think a trend that I just regret in general is industrial. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm not kidding, I've had nightmares about
That was a while ago,
crank
though.
tables. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate a crank table.
You're done with them forever.
I don't ever want to see one again. And
Okay.
don't get me wrong, I get that like trends have to work their way
Yep.
into the middle.
Yep. And if
So
you have a crank table in your home that you love, we also love it for you.
We love it for you. And you
keep it.
haven't seen it for as long as you've seen
Keep
it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Most
set
people
your drink on it, drink it high, drink it low.
Drink it middle, drink it slow.
And no, don't get me wrong. Like I say, buy what you like. I
Yes.
totally
Yeah.
do. But like that, I regret. And of course, there's stuff that we're just like, especially in hindsight, we're looking at, possibly doing a fun thing for like our 30th anniversary. So we're looking at like Ghosts of Design Past, kind of looking through all the archives. And there's a lot of things that are real cringy. Yeah, and we're just like, oh, we didn't always make the best decisions, but
But with that stuff, that was when you were still doing the vintage pieces and nothing that you were technically designing
wasn't
or
that
no.
long ago.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I'm
like,
just picturing those
no.
5
No,
years.
we
I
did
think
do
with
it,
5,
way
6.
far.
Yeah.
We were way far back. But
Okay.
I mean, there are some things that you're just like, they were so of the moment. And I think that's what we're really trying to shift away from. It's not that those things weren't cool, because they did have a place. I just don't ever want, again, to design a coffee table that you're gonna hate 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like those things that are so of the moment, we just want to stay away.
Yeah. Josh, I do know that one of the pressure points is that designers want hand samples in hand of the finishes and the fabrics, and they're probably beating the reps' doors down for that. How do you handle that?
Will therapy? No.
Vodka.
Right. Whatever it takes. No, I mean, it's a real need, it's not a luxury. These are things that you need to present to people, and we understand that. What we're getting really good at is the textile sampling process. So we are partnering with a third-party fulfillment house right now that's helping us get to the place where, I mean, ultimately, don't hold me to a timeline on this, but on our website, you will be able to order your own textile swatch and have that.
Super helpful.
Yeah,
For
super
wallpaper,
helpful.
you can order it online now, though.
Yeah,
So because
this
we're
is true.
producing the wallpaper in-house, you can order a wallpaper swatch online.
I did, as we were walking through today, I wanted to just take my scissors.
Is that okay to do?
Is that okay to do when we
Yeah.
tour? Okay,
Sure.
cool. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I hope
So
so.
totally.
We'll look around.
Okay, but that does lead to this wall.
The whole room.
Yeah.
all the walls,
Yeah.
Which we're going to B-roll. You have to see
you
it.
have to see, except for
That
this one,
wall.
'cause this
Secret.
It's a
is
secret.
a
Top
secret wall.
secret
Yeah.
wall.
But
Special
all
sauce.
of this, and how you were discussing, like the velvets are now going to be more of the like performance fabrics, and
Mhm.
Sure.
everything you're doing is even more sustainable. So, do you guys pay a lot of attention? Is that something you have done for a long time here? Is it a pretty green? Is
Yes, no,
Running
if you're talking,
okay.
yeah. So I definitely think, so with performance fabrics, yes, you're talking about cutting out the forever chemicals and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Sustainability is something that we're really talking about and have been for the past couple years. It's a really hard subject to tackle without greenwashing, right?
Mhm.
And you also can't change your entire supply chain overnight. Those are just unrealistic things. So we actually have someone leading a sustainability initiative in Four Hands. We've created very clear definitions on what that means for us. We've also, never really shared what we're doing that's so great. We have responsible sourcing, right? Like we work, the way that we source product is responsible, right? So we've got really good social audits for all of our factories. And like there's all this stuff that we've been doing behind the scenes that we don't really necessarily talk about. And we're bringing that up to the forefront a bit more. But to be fair, it's not something that you can just flip a switch and suddenly be sustainable, especially considering the industry that we're in. Do you know what I mean? But we're 100% taking steps forward. I just got out of a meeting last week for a fall 26 release where we're developing special materials and new textiles. And so it's definitely top of mind.
But I think we keep going back to culture and culture, but it sounds like this has been your culture, just embedded in the whole time. I'm assuming, and it's getting. We're all just learning and getting better,
Sure.
and knowing what we didn't know before. But you guys, I mean, even the wood for the frames and stuff, like that's sourced. All of the things you guys are already doing. It's not the imprint. It seems less.
Well, Four Hands is what I've always liked about Four Hands is it's a very responsible company.
Mm-hmm.
And in every aspect, we're good partners. We treat our customers well. We treat our vendors really well. We have the best intentions in business. We're not cheats. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Four Hands does that really well. And honestly, that's a Matt Briggs thing, right? You know what I mean? That comes all the way down from the top. But I think it's just a responsible place.
I love that. And I also think even if you didn't know about the sustainability piece, I think that's part of what you feel from the brand. It permeates. And I think you already know that that's important because you feel it.
Yeah, and because you guys take the stuff from your library that's no longer, and you give UT their, you donate it all. Like this could very well just end up in a landfill.
It'd be easier to throw it in a dumpster.
It would be less complicated, but
Yeah,
it's
really
cool
would.
that somebody gets to use it.
It's incredible,
And
the
it goes-
students are for the better, and then it just breeds just that relationship that you're giving to them, and those students get out of school and they already know Four Hands. They know it's a good quality. So it just
So where did the samples go to UT to which department?
Merchandising. Yeah.
Merchandising.
So not fabric merchandising. I'm sorry. Fashion. like the merchandising departments over there. So they have like a tactile sense of things when they're using it.
That's really neat, though.
So back to you, Josh.
Okay.
Actually, I want to start with you, and I would like for you to define the Forehand brand using 3 words.
Authenticity, intention, and is good vibes one word?
Yes.
And
It
good
is. I
vibes.
love that.
Off the top of my head, that's, not rehearsed. But I think a lot could go into that, and even Casey and I were talking about, well, like, what's the next word for authenticity? Because I don't want that to get overused. But there's a sensibility about it that you guys are experiencing while you're here, right?
Yeah.
So I hope that it does come through.
What about for you, Brooke? What would be your 3 words?
That's a good question. I think the first one that pops in my head is creative, and then supportive and open.
Oh, I
Good
like
ones.
those. Those are good.
Adam?
I would say like true is like a good one for me. Definitely creative, and thoughtful.
I like that.
Mhm.
How would you define Forehands, Casey? 3 words from a designer perspective.
I'm going to take one from each because you're
Yeah.
so good.
So good.
From a designer's supportive, you said that, but it is genuinely supportive. Fun. Your pieces evoke fun in spaces. So you can go all in, or you can have one just this really cool chair that just stands on its own. And I think there's some things really neat about that with a brand. And cohesion. There's a beautiful
Thread.
There's no question everybody got ready in the same house, but it's not matchy-matchy,
That's
So
perfect.
it's, those are my 3. What are yours?
Well, I was going to, since I started with a question, I was just going to kind of tell my experience. But because when I first found Forehands, and I think this was 12 to 14 years ago, y'all were still in the tiny little dungeon space, now, so to see you guys evolve. But your brand, I would always think when somebody said Forehands, I would think bachelor pad. Like that was what popped into my brain a long time ago. And now Forehands, no matter what the project, it doesn't matter if it's on the coast or it's a $4 million house in River Oaks in Houston, Texas, or it's anywhere in the projects we've done out of state, we always have Forehands pieces in them. And I think for me, those pieces look found. They look storied. They have this, like you said, authenticity to them. So that would definitely be one of my words. But it's a very important brand to our firm. And if you look at our photos, you will see that. And so it's been an amazing thing to watch from a designer side. So
I completely agree. And having seen your pieces years ago in some of the, the stores, like in Houston, high fashion, we were able to find.
Yeah,
Which is fantastic because clients want to sit and touch and, it does help them. But then to see where it is now and what you do for designers, but you still have the end user in mind. And so I know white label was sort of the beginning of you guys.
Yeah.
And can you talk about that a little bit? Because now you guys are all in Forehands, but there's still a little bit of your original.
Well, we were always like the brand behind the brands for a long time, right? We never really wanted Forehands to be a name. Everything was white label. We let our customers kind of like come in, grab the furniture, mark it however you want.
Can I pause you for just a minute?
Sure.
Can you explain what white label is to the listener?
Sure.
Yeah.
So white label is product development done by a brand that is under the flag of another brand. Right. And so it's sort of essentially like, we'll make this for you, but you can call it whatever you want and you can put your name on it and that's no big deal. And we were still making all these really cool assets and doing all these great things. We just gave them to everybody. You know what I mean? Which is, we still do. Like we'll share all of our assets, but we were never really looking for our brand to be a part of the conversation. We were really happy playing behind the scenes. And so we ended up getting cool people that like, y'all are cool. Why aren't you not talking about this?
Yeah. Do this.
I think it was a combination of kind of critical mass of people understanding Forehands as a brand. Once we did get out of the bachelor pad phase,
it was a lovely phase. It was just a niche.
I mean, everything got us to where we are now.
There's a lot of prank tables.
Yeah.
There were, but it sort of caught up with us at the same time that we really wanted to step forward as a brand, and we really wanted to engage with the editors. We wanted to get to know the design community at a whole different level, which includes the shelter publications and participating in show houses. And people wanted to use our brand. So our customers were telling us that they understood our brand. They had pride in our brand. They wanted to pass that on. They had customers that were coming to them and asking for forehands. So it kind of met right at the moment where we were wanting to do it and the demand for it happened all at the same time.
Made sense.
Yeah, a lot of magical alignment stuff happens around here.
Our high-flying discs are just everywhere. But you guys were designing this furniture with other people's names on it. So since it's such an interesting, because some of your brand, I don't know if you're allowed to say, but there were some big names that would be surprising to people to know that maybe that wasn't their,
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
You probably cannot share
what
that.
I'd like to say is if you own a piece of furniture, there's a really good chance it came from us.
I love that. In the last 30 years. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So another part of your brand is that you are so generous. And I think that generosity, Josh, comes through in how you deal with designers and designers who have big time firms, those who are just getting started. And your brand does some very cool things to support new designers. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. We consider ourselves trusted advisors. We're business consultants. So we can work with a designer that's just starting out, out of his or her home and whatever needs they have. And we can help guide them along and tell them, hey, here's what I know about the next steps of your business expansion, what that looks like from my experience. And here's how you grow with forehands. And here's how you unlock more benefit of working with forehands as you grow. So we can not only help them grow, we grow with them.
And I think to open an account, there's no minimum, right?
There's no minum.
Which is so gracious.
We try to make it as easy as possible. To your earlier point, I know that for design firms, you can get the best product in the world, but if it's very difficult to work with that company and it's causing you and your client extra stress that nobody needs, then no more, right? So we want to not only be the best design, the best value, the best quality, but also the easiest and most pleasurable to work with, the most reliable, all of these things that are going to make your life easier, make your clients more happy, get you more referrals. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
I love that.
Especially the clients. That's the end result for all of us. The only reason we have jobs is the client and the homeowner.
Right.
So to make it easy for them, and of course that easy for us means easy for them because we're not having to tell them, we're so sorry that table we're having to push back your install because it didn't show up, or these things.
Or 3 weeks after install that the tabletop is scratched up and come get this piece of furniture. Yeah. Like those are the kinds of things that can make a designer just hate their job so much they want to quit, or Thelma and Louise off the. Yes, those
Nobody
are those
needs
things.
that over furniture, but the emotion is real. But we live with the furniture ourselves. We were talking earlier about we have an incredible employee program where we get to buy the furniture at an incredible discount.
Also generous.
We are that customer too. We are also that needy customer. So we understand if it comes in and if something is a little bit off, we're relating to the customer. We understand the way that we want to understand the way that people live and what makes their space more meaningful.
It's a thread through your entire organization. Yeah. But even if we do get a call that that something had gotten wonky, or that's the call that I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's forehands.
Yeah, we call Tristan and it's right.
It's done.
It can't.
There's just no question.
We'll take care of it.
Where you're like, wait, what? Really?
This is going to take the next 6 months of my life.
I'm hooking up with you already, though. Like, I don't want to get back to your house again. Like, we're done. But that's like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay, no problem.
That's okay.
Yeah,
we can go.
So, what is next for Forehands as a brand? And I don't know if you all three want to speak to that or somebody wants to take that, but what's next?
So many things. I can start off with one that I'm particularly enthusiastic about. But it is. We are busy people. We are extremely busy and always trying to figure out the answer to that exact question. But one that I can speak to that by the time this podcast comes out, we will have officially announced it in the press, is that we're going into hospitality furniture.
Mhm.
So we have, right? Yeah.
Cool.
People want to live in the environments that our furniture creates, and they want to live in those environments in hospitality settings, in hotels, and other contract settings. So we've already taken over 1,000 of our existing and best-selling designs and put them through
Commercial
contract-grade
testing.
testing.
Wow.
So we are launching at BD&Y this November in New York with a booth for Four Hands Art Studio and a booth for Four Hands Furniture. So we're going to have 2 booths at BD&Y, which is a very large footprint for any brand to be able to pull that off and be able to say at that market, we've already got over 1,000 pieces in stock, ready to go, as opposed to it's going to take us a year and a half to develop this for you.
And can I just say, I don't care if you're a commercial designer or if you're in the hospitality space. Here's what I'm telling you. Hospitality spaces are fugly. And so all of us should be excited that we're going to be able to go into hospitality spaces that are amazing. And we're talking about hospitals.
That's right.
Waiting rooms for I mean, we're talking about all sorts of levels
all of the
things.
above.
And it just
can't.
One of our mutual friends, Ariane, is doing a project right now for an assisted living facility that it's all about dignity and integrity and elevated living. And so she's populating it all with Four Hands furniture.
And why wouldn't you?
Right.
I mean, absolutely perfect.
And it is such a perfect time for that. We just were talking, and I think you're friends with, or you all know Jessica Deuce, who is, you guys are part of the Vacation Rental Designs.
Correct. Yeah.
Which that is another incredible thing that you have done for designers, because you help designers from deep, just not discounts, trade
pricing. Great trade pricing.
That's
branding, that word, and discount and authenticity. But she speaks to what that's a new level for them. They're really going to start leaning into VRBOs that are
accessible,
ADA.
Yeah.
And so it really, this is, what did she say? 1.4 million people a year are researching ADA compliant VRBOs. Wow. I mean, there is, so for the designer
massive market
out there
coming,
who is really not sure how to design to that, this is just on the heels of it. It's just perfect.
Perfect timing.
Right.
So that's getting announced November.
That is,
in New
we've
York.
been on a press embargo on that until we officially start talking about it at October High Point.
Okay.
And then after that, quick follow, we'll have BD&Y. So we're
that.
going to be screaming it from the rooftops here very soon.
And what's next in art?
I'm just always looking for more great talent to work with, but also just expanding into our current artist roster. I don't know, just good stuff is coming, like always.
Mm-hmm.
It's art. It's always ever
But
changing.
to piggyback off of the hospitality, art studio is a big component of that. So we can do fully customizable projects. Qualified, customers can be part of that. Whereas we work with the 175 artists. We have a huge library bank of work that may not necessarily be brand right, but we have stuff for almost every project. So,
but if somebody came in and they're like, I love this design and I've got this hospital or this, they can create their own, and you guys.
Yeah, and we have a team of art consultants that would curate the project for them, because not all teams have that
capability
or that person on staff. So we'll take lookbooks or things like that and we can curate it. So I think that's an exciting part that we've been doing, but now it's going to be really like a big part of like the conversation.
And just to point out too, the wallpaper and the murals,
those two
are
so exciting,
so fantastic. And some of the more pastoral looks that we've got coming out, some of the artists that we partner with, just blowing them up to these massive scaled art installations.
Well, and didn't we have a recent project that they ordered one of the patterns and are putting it all over a big project?
It's exciting.
So it's just like,
and that artist must just be tickled. I mean, they'll
get
all the wallpaper is already.
They're gonna be tickled when they get them.
But it's just exciting to see that really getting out there in that way too. And our artists are super excited about that too. Like when they see their work in a common space in a hotel, they get so excited. Like they'll text me and call and they're like, did you know this was here? And sometimes I'm like, no, because that's not my job. But
yay. What's next? I think this is the perfect place to end.
There's so much good product stuff coming down the pipeline, but I think I'm really excited. So I mean, we did our first collab ever with Amber Lewis, right? And that was awesome. And also a little weird, like not weird. She's wonderful, but like not a part of our DNA, right? Doing collabs were just not like, everybody was just like, well, Four Hands doesn't do collabs. And that wasn't true. I just don't know if we ever met the right person, right?
That's it.
But it's been wildly successful, and we have some amazing expansions happening next year that will be really exciting and just evolve the collection and tell like a much broader, more rich story. So I think that will be really cool.
I love that.
That is so special. So with just really quick, because I am curious, when you are doing these collabs, is she, because Amber Lewis, we have and again, like we were talking about, every project has Four Hands, and a lot of them recently have had the Amber Lewis.
Yeah.
I love her pieces.
They're
Beautiful.
so special and intricate. Is that there is a collab?
Yeah.
And do you guys determine, depending on the table or whatever the thing is, where that is going to be made? Are there specific artisans for each different piece, or is it sort of, you guys are so global?
It's material driven, right?
Okay.
So I feel like we kind of talked about this like a little bit earlier too. Like I'm really bad at this. Like when I look at a table, I'm like, oh, I know where that was made just from the materials, right? And so if you want something to have, when you're talking about the design and how you want it to feel and what its presentation should be, that will sort of lead you to certain materials, and those materials lead you to certain regions, right? Or certain areas of the world where you could manufacture. And so a lot of that just comes from like, we know we want to mix hard and soft textures, or we want to mix blah, 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 blah. And so those ideas about how final presentation be will like lead us in that direction.
So you have 13 manufacturing facilities, I think, that you use around the country, around the world country. So you said you could name them. So I'm totally going to put you on the spot.
Okay. So India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand. Let me go throughout Southeast Asia really quickly. So India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, China, smaller now, Mexico, Argentina, Poland, Romania, US. What am I missing? I'm missing 2.
Do you say Vietnam?
Where are they?
Yeah, Vietnam's there. Hold on, let me look at my shelves. I'm cheating a little bit.
You did Romania.
I did Romania, did Poland. That's where we're at in Europe. I'm forgetting 2.
That's okay. We can pull it.
That's okay. We'll put them in the show notes.
Yeah, right.
You can.
It'll be a guest situation. Whoever gets it wins a chair.
That's it. Chair, a sofa,
A mural.
a mural, an installed mural.
Right.
No. Oh my gosh, my heart feels so full.
Yeah, we're just so grateful. But truly, we couldn't have imagined having a day. I mean, any time, but a whole day like this with you guys has been incredible. And so, is there anything you wish we would have asked, or is there anything you really want to share because you guys, I mean, there's just stuff. So to dive into all of it.
Is there something we didn't ask?
I just love, this is not a question, but I just want to just love the fact that you're reflecting that back to us, that, what we really are trying to do is to understand your business and to light you up like you are. Like I said, when the reps walk in the door, I want your eyes to light up. And I've just seen you guys light up all day when we've been walking around campus.
Literally dancing.
Right.
It's true.
It's true.
Literally spinning around dancing.
This is the moment. So we're walking through the halls, y'all, and we come up into this room where there's just this gigantic screen. It's like stadium size, and it says, "Welcome, reframing the art of interior design." It was like this huge.
Oh my gosh!
And we were like, there were angels singing in the background.
There was
confetti,
giggling.
Yes.
It was just a moment of a full circle moment of
generosity,
because we talk about you guys so much, just in general when we're doing projects. So to be able to do this with you,
that was just so fulfilling for me,
really
and I know for all of us, just to know that we can be so in the weeds of the work, but to zoom out and see your response to it was
cool to be reminded of like all the amazing things we're doing, because we can get so into like the weeds of the everyday stuff, but to like be here and enjoy this and get to share this with you guys has been really fun.
Sit back and celebrate how hard you have worked and what it does for the people whose homes we are in.
It's huge. Cool. So I do have a personal question for each of you before we go. What is your favorite What do we want to know? Favorite cereal.
Oh my goodness.
What is your favorite cereal?
So boring. I really like Raisin Bran.
That's not
Raisin Bran
boring.
Crunch. Raisin Bran Crunch.
Oh, see,
I
that
like
crunch
milk.
is, yeah, so it doesn't get mushy right away. It gives you time to eat it. Okay. What about you?
I am not a cereal adult. I'm more of a smoothie morning guy. But my favorite all-time cereal and as a kid was Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
I think it was just
They're
a
magically delicious.
sugar.
We're testing branding here.
That was
Magically.
like your Lucky Charms.
Mine's gonna sound like old person cereal, but grape nuts. But it reminds
Oh,
That's the last
great.
time anybody said it.
I know,
Right?
But it's just
You're welcome,
yeah,
Grape Nuts.
I think it's a,
We just
like,
made it
I think
relative.
it might have it's a texture thing.
I just have to
It's like
say,
a
coming
nostalgic
from the most
thing.
artistic, like, it's like so hip. She's like, grape nuts.
Yeah.
And let's all
It's
just
a
go buy stock
throwback.
now.
Let's go buy stock now
that
because
stock
it's
is gonna
going through the
skyrocket.
roof. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a hip one set.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
hope I
eat
get
s-
sponsored
And
by
Raisin
Grape
Bran.
Nuts.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
Do you eat cereal?
No, I'm a smoothie.
You're just I know, because I see. So I have to tell y'all. So every morning, Casey has this smoothie that she makes, and it has chia seeds in it. So you always know if she's got chia seeds.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You cannot keep this whole mess intact. I swear.
No.
But no.
Mine has kale, and as I'm making it, I'm like, this is the equivalent of a massive kale salad in the morning. Like, should I be doing this?
Is this a good idea? I don't know.
Mine
I
just
don't
looks
know.
like black
Yeah.
by the end. By the time I get to the office, it's just gnarly in my cup. But
Yeah.
it's
So I
yeah.
drink smoothies too, but if I have cereal, it's Lucky Charms,
Mm.
and that seems so fitting for today.
That
Lucky
is-
Charms.
oh my gosh, we are. Yeah. Stars.
So thank you
Thanks,
guys
guys.
again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we could not finish this off with just Rainey and I doing our normal thing. We just had to be able to celebrate everybody who either drove into Austin, who helps us with all of our stuff, and then of course the team of Four Hands. So
Yes. And to wrap this up, I also have to say this is Tristan. And when we were talking in the podcast about reps driving up and us wanting to flip out the lights and pretend we're not there. Anytime we see Tristan, our team is like, oh, shit. And so thank you, Tristan, for being our Four Hands on the ground. And we adore you. And we could not do this without Holly and without Mariana.
and Megan and Connor and Tom and oh my gosh and Liz.
Liz.
All of us way back down the deal.
All of them.
Yes.
Everybody. So
So
anyway,
thank
we
you
just
for
wanted
listening
end it
to our
with that.
podcast, and share. You can follow me at Rainey Richardson Interiors.
I'm Cassandra_brand_interiors, and we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Please listen and watch this one. This one was actually
Really worth it.
worth it.
All right.
Just for Rainey's dress.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all are ready when
I got one related to our podcast that I'm going to use. I'll let you go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you for coming. We're so happy
No, ma'am.
you're
We are not doing. We are not doing.
here for another episode of.
We are not. We are not doing the Sluts Are Us voice. Nope.
Was that Sluts Are Us?
That was Sluts Are Us.
Oh my gosh,
Okay, do
we
a
are
clap.
keeping this shit
1, 2,
clean.
3. Okay, are we on?
We're on. Everyone. In a row.
All together.
And this is how we're just going to go.
I love this. The energy.
Yeah, like
So
we
how
are
did you know that was the
well-twined.
one? Like that's what I'm trying to get to. How do you know they had
Yeah,
Four Hands in them?
because
Let's stop right there.
okay.
They were constantly shifting in their seats.
We will not edit that.
Well, okay.
She dove
To-
for the button.
I'm going to keep speaking, but not salespeople have a bad name. Casey can't control herself. Okay, deep breath.
How do you know they needed to be part of the Four Hands team?
That's it. That one.
There we
That's
go.
it. That's it.